Hello and welcome to the SC Playbook podcast, head of NRL Supercoach Round 5, proudly brought to you by Mortgage Choice SCW. I'm your host, Tim Williams. Last week was all about injuries, suspensions, absolute carnage to teams. This week, it's all about buys, not the bad kind that come about around the origin period. It's about the good kind that make you cash, that get you points. There are so many bloody good ones this week. Here to try and help find them with me for you this week, the SC Spy. Spy, how are you, mate?
Well, mate, there's a few on offer, so we'll have to get through them. Moving my way up very slowly up the ranks, up 4K into the mid-20Ks. Doesn't sound great, but looks around 4. It's all good. Long way to go. And the team's shaping up okay, although the centres are starting to look a bit skinny.
All the cheapies are starting to, a few little red flags round.
Yeah, but no, all good, feeling all right. And,
How many points last week?
1250, so solid enough again.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also with us on today's show, part-time rugby player, full-time Supercoach aficionado, the Wallabies lock forward. Now, I can't remember what year came last season, but it's Nick Frost. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks. It's good to be back on and talk some Supercoach.
What did you finish last year in the end?
8th. Yeah. Peaked at 5th and fell down 8th for the last week, but no, yeah. Fair bit of luck went into that year.
Right. If you're finishing that end of the rankings, there's a lot of expertise that goes into it, but there's, as you said, a bit of luck as well. It's funny enough, actually, because we've got Spy on here as well. You got Reece Walsh at the end of the year, didn't you?
Yep.
You finished 8th without the Reece Walsh run.
Yep. I went against him.
You would have won by 1,000.
I did do the calculations, and I think for my peace of mind, I wouldn't have won. I would have been second, maybe third, but...
that is peace of mind.
That probably would have hurt more, in fairness, so it might have been for the best.
Yeah. Oh, well, here's what it is.
Mate, good to have you on board. And before we get to you, I owe you an apology, Spy.
Do you? Whoa.
Yeah.
What's happened?
You came to me at the start of the season, we were chatting round 1 teams, and you had some weird thing going on. I remember
I forgot about this.
Yeah, you had a player in the 2RF.
No, he was my flex.
Yep. And I remember you said, it's a 1-week Hail Mary play because I'm moving them to someone, maybe after the Vegas games that you missed. Would that have been right?
Yeah, that sounds about right. And I was like, if he sticks, then I love him.
And I remember I did steer you away from 1 or 2 awful options, and I can't remember who you ended up on.
That's a lie mixed in with an apology, but carry on.
Yeah. Well, regardless, I can cut this apology short and move on if you want, if you're going to be smart about it. One of them was Simi Sasangi. And when you mentioned him, I just said, look, you know, Matty Timoko had been injured in the off-season. He'd had a interrupted pre-season. I assume he's going to come back in at some point once fit. He's the Kiwi centre. And I said, as good as Simi Sasangi is, I just don't see there's any longevity in it. Mate, he's won that role. Holy hell.
Yep, and because I was going to move Calhoun on, I've just looked who I traded, and all Laban. Like, there's someone in there, like, I know someone's going to get moved because Lukey had killed it, for one, and it might have been Couchman. Like, there's so many options bobbing up. I'm like, I might just take this bloke who could score really well round 1, might score 80 to a ton, and then if by some miracle he holds this spot, which I didn't think he would, in fairness, I can then just, roll from there. But talked me out of it. So obviously the lesson is, don't listen to you too often.
For peace of mind, Spy, 72 points in round 1 with a try assist. Still all the exact same concerns around job security. They just beat Manly in an 82-minute game. Would you have held him or not? Keep in mind there's all these buys to have.
Oh, if he got named, absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. Apology accepted. You do give me some good stuff at times. So,
oh, jeez. Backhanded.
I actually tend to make my own decisions, which is why I was a bit filthy when I do. I take on advice and the potty and that, but I like to make my own decisions. Go, if I like it, I'm going to do it. So, it's on me.
Colhoun's doing well, for what it's worth.
Oh, I sold him round 2.
Frosty, how's your team tracking, mate?
Pretty. It's been a bit frustrating. I'm happy with my side. I'm happy with who I've got. I'm missing a big score or two. I didn't start with Sewer, which probably hurt. So the first 2 rounds, I jumped in on round 3, but obviously the points there I missed out on. And I think I leave each week, 50 to 60 odd points just on the table, whether it be a captaincy decision or a sit v start. I I was going to play Colquhoun on the weekend all week, and then I got, a few hours before kick-off, and I was, we're all in on Ethan Sanders. So I did that, and then obviously Colquhoun scored, and then on top of that, No.2 got dropped, so then I had to take an AE, so I should have played Colquhoun regardless. So just little things like that of, chip away at. But no, I'm really happy with how it's going. Yeah,
it was a bit salt in the wounds, wasn't it, for those of us who were playing Setu too. And against the Titans, there would have been a fair few 3 minutes into the game when Tyrell Sloan scored a try where he would have been sitting ready to pounce on it. Anyway, mate, for myself, 1,260 points for the Stallions. So a good week there. I had a bit of a jump in a few green arrows, 27,000th overall. A bit like yourself, mate. Again, I sound like a broken record, but really happy with my side and where it's at. Haven't really missed out on anything too much. The only headache in my team is Reid Marnie, who I'm not playing each week anyway. He's just sitting there next to Harry Grant. Outside of him, thankfully, made the jump from Sam Walker to Nathan Cleary last week. So I do own Arama Howe. I've got $440,000 in the bank this week. So as you said, it's about 250 points still between where I am and I think Desi's in about 2K overall. So not much in it, but, you get to a point where you need to see a few extra points on the board.
In saying all that, last year, one of my best years till the end, Reece Walsh, I think I had like 16 weeks of green arrows in a row from about this point. Up to 2 now. It's easy when you're starting lower. But because I kept going up, I ended up like 150th with about 6 weeks left because I consistently went up. So you can do 2 ways. You can either just gradually jump without having that week where you plummet 5 and lose what you've made up, or you can have just the mega week or 2 where you go bang straight to the top. So both are viable. I'd suggest just a huge week would be far easier.
But
it is possible.
I say at the start of every year, my team does it every year outside of the year we will not speak about again, 2024. And it just build. However, it'd be much better to be doing that from 2,000th after 5 rounds and not 27,000. So anyway, a few more greens would be nice. Frosty, before we get into things, one little quick question for you for the rugby fanatics out there, and we're going to tie it into a bit of rugby league as well. Rugby Union World Cup hosted in Australia in 2027. All going to plan, mate. Those knees hold up for you. You're a young whippersnapper. You'll be there. You'll be firing. And a few of the league boys making a move over. I shouldn't call Mark Nwanganitawazi a league boy because he's certainly a rugby union boy playing some league. Going back to union at the end of the year, playing some rugby in Japan. Zach Lomax, who's now found himself in the rugby scene as well. But Angus Crichton, I think, is the big one, the big watch that Australians and I suppose rugby league fans have on making the move. How are you expecting him to go in his bid for a Wallabies jumper come the World Cup next year? Obviously played a fair bit of rugby union growing up and at school in Sydney. We suspect he'll probably slot in at inside centre. What are your thoughts on these sort of blokes moving into the World Cup?
Yeah, I think, you touched on it then, inside centre. I think that's his position. He played, he's got an outstanding highlights package on YouTube if anyone hasn't seen it. It's the Scots 2014, I'm pretty sure. But he played rugby as a schoolboy, was unbelievable there, and has been in league for a while. But I reckon inside centre or 12 is his position. A great athlete, but it's we do have a lot of quality talent in that back line too. So for everyone, you named a few boys there coming over to play in that World Cup or have a crack. It's going to be a lot of tough work for everyone, and that's probably a good thing. Having depth and having people pushing each other and healthy competition. Drives everyone up and drives the team up. So, fair play to him for, putting his hat in the ring. And I reckon he'll give it a good shake, a red-hot run.
Mate, the biggest one is, and I've played a fair bit of rugby myself alongside rugby league over the years, a bit of a Saturday, Sunday job. And having played at significantly lower levels than you and the other boys we're speaking of, as a leaguey, mate, when it'd get to rucks, I'm just sitting there and just throwing my head in, no idea what to do or what's going on. I just went hard, got the head down, bum up, and sort of hope for the best. But that's the thing, right? Like for the leagueies coming over, even if you have played in the past and at school, it's the technicalities in around the ruck and what you need to do there. That's always going to be the biggest hurdle for whatever position you're converting into. Yeah,
definitely, especially around that ruck space and just the little niche understandings of the game too. It's potentially going to be a steep learning curve, but he's a talented player and an athlete, so that'll get him obviously so far. The rest of it, he's obviously got the work ethic to apply himself. So as I said before, I reckon he's given it a red hot crack, but it's going to be interesting to see, and it'll be good competition for everyone too, because I think he brings a different skill set. that hard ball carrying, and he's got an offload with him too. So it'd be good for the team and probably good for the game.
That's it, mate. Depth is key. So looking forward to that one.
One quick question without notice. It's obviously still, a year and a half to the World Cup. Is there time, I've not asked you this coming in, so there you go. Is there time for a big name signing to finish the NRL season, come across? You'd probably get, a Japan, then a Super Rugby season in. Let's call it a gun fullback or a Cleary or anything like that.
Let's call him Nathan.
Yeah. The obvious targets. Is it too late or is it doable?
Oh, I think, we spoke off show about Nathan Cleary and about just him in general as an athlete. I think it would probably be too late to understand the full, especially if he was coming across the game manager role. I think that would be, it's not like, he's a forward or a winger or something that has a little bit less to do. If you are given the keys to the show,
it is the keyest of positions.
So I think that would be a little bit of a short runway. But
what about a fullback?
Again, there's a lot to do. That's the second game manager on the field, and Tom Wright's doing a hell of a job there at the moment.
Yeah,
he's come back from an injury.
Leaguey.
Oh yeah.
No, just interesting.
Manly stint.
Yeah, because obviously you sort of listen out for news heading into a World Cup. What may happen? But just curious around that one, mate.
Big watch ahead, boys. Also with us today, and I definitely didn't forget him in the intro, Matty the Waterboy. How are you?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. That's completely fine that you brushed me, Timmy. Don't worry about it.
Got a bit excited, mate.
Nah, that's all good. I mean, we've got a guest on the podcast, so it's absolutely fine. And also, I've slipped so badly in the last few weeks that I probably don't even deserve to be on this show. So the lack of introduction was probably warranted. I had a really good start, and it's just been it hasn't been horrendous by any means. My scores haven't been it hasn't been a disaster, but yeah, just haven't had that big week yet, and my rank just keeps slipping. So yeah, panicking a little bit, but we'll see.
And we spoke pre-show, Matty, about it, but you're saying you went pretty heavily in on just getting all the major cheapies. And the reality is that when you're doing that, while other people are going for the guns who might have started really well and not earning cash as such, or maybe only a little bit, you're probably going to take a little bit of a hit. So it's short term, there might be some hits to the rank. It's not ideal, but financially, your side should be getting set up relatively well.
And I didn't pull the trigger last year on a couple of these guys, and I plateaued by the end of the year, didn't really go up, didn't really go down either. So I kind of put my focus into that. So it could pay off. I hope it does, but yeah, I got to stop slipping. It's got to start this week for me.
Yeah. Plenty of time to come.
The quickest of shout-outs, I was sitting with my mate. Actually, I was at a birthday party Saturday, Arvo. Bloody kids get in the way of watching footy, I tell you. But he let me bring down the telly from my man cave, set it up out the back of the party for the boys. Shout out to his wife for letting it happen. And his reward was, sat down to have a whiskey and watch the Melbourne game. Who you got in this, mate? He's like, I got so-and-so. And Warbrick I started with. I'm like, oh, nice.
No.
80 minutes later, he bags his fourth. I'm like, well done, Bretto.
Yep.
But that's good karma. Well deserved.
That is complete karma.
Yep.
Yeah, the Warbrick show, the brick. All righty, guys, on today's show, TLT pointers, Teamless Tuesday. Payne Haas named to return. Wonderful news for those who held, but does he play? Obviously a question mark around that one still. The topic for today's show, halfbacks have absolutely set Supercoach alight, particularly last week with tons absolutely flying. What is the plan at number 7 alongside, of course, the aforementioned Nathan Cleary? And hot topics is Reece Walsh, a must with that dream run incoming for the Brisbane Broncos. We'll then drop our trades and skippers for round 5. Guys, our unlimited league. Take us on if you think you can knock us off. The SC Playbook crew, that is. Jump into the league. $1,000 in cash up for grabs to anyone that can beat us. The code there, 479007. Currently led by Undy Sauce, coached by L. Leads the way in second place overall in Supercoach. So good stuff, L. Keep it up. And guys, lastly, for less than $2 per week, you can cash in on all the extra insights available and support SC Playbook for the blood, sweat, and the tears that go into putting it all together by grabbing yourself a subscription. That'll get you access to a heap of extra premium articles on site every round with in-depth analysis, subscriber podcasts, live Q&As every single round of the season, access to our major unlimited league prize money, and plenty more. Also gets you into our Discord community, late mail channels in there, contributor-only channels. In that, we can drop all our updated insights, trade plans across the week, team advice, punters, head-to-head specific, draft specific, We've got channels for every format of Supercoach out there, so go and check that one out, as well as some events being organised later in the year for subscribers with major discounts. So get involved. Head to scplaybook.com.au and click subscribe in the menu. Boys, TLT. At the Manly Warringah Seagulls, under Kieran Foran. Jason Saab suspended. Clayton Faulalo comes in on the wing, so no major changes under Fosball just yet. At the South Sydney Rabbitohs, no cheese for the Bunnies. Bit of talk that he'll be back this week, Brandon Smith. No go there. Graham returns from a shoulder injury, and then Graham Taufa drops out of the side there. At the Doggies, Sam Hughes, Harry Hayes, they return. Josh Curran out. Bronson Sherry named on the bench as he looks to work his way back into the team. At the Panthers, Mitch Kenny out. Freddie Lussick in at hooker. Kenny out with a suspension. Boys, probably the first one of note in the team list. Moses Leo has been dropped. Nick Meaney returns. Jack Howarth is in a little bit of doubt. So if Jack Howarth weren't to play, I would assume Moses Leo comes in. But Spy, with a few of these good CT dub buys incoming, Simi Sasangi, one we spoke about earlier, Moses Leo, is he someone you'd look to sell? Because past weeks of 21 and 34, he's made just $81,000 so far, a break even of 48, cut ties, or hope that he returns and can score well?
Look, back-to-back losses, Melbourne. Bellamy may not like that, you might suggest. And I wouldn't say it's hard to see him coming back in, but they've got pretty good centres as well. So barring an injury, happy to cut ties. But you don't have to rush it either. Like, he's cheap and he's just sitting there in your 6th, 7th centre. So you don't have to do it right now. But if he's your ticket to someone else, absolutely no issues in letting him go.
Yep, and also at the Storm, obviously, Tui Kamakamitha, very, very concerning, but had a stroke and was hospitalised during the week. So thoughts, concerns with Tui that he does come out of this okay. Obviously, Stefano Udkamano, he'll be picking up a bit of the extra load there in the pack while Tui is out. So hopefully back on deck sooner rather than later. At the St. George Illawarra Dragons, still no Setu 2, boys. We mentioned, Frosty, that he dropped out of the team on that. You know, we sit here every week and we talk about the Sunday evening game, the last game of the round. If you don't have backups and players get dropped or injured or ruled out late, often there's not much you can do about it. This is what happened to Setu 2 and the Dragons on the weekend. Fortunately, a lot had Firemarni there to slot in, who didn't really score well anyway, so it was a bit irrelevant. But Tyrell Sloan's been dropped after one game back in the side. David Farley, a potential cheapie as well, come in there, so a big watch in him, come in a good position outside Val Holmes, I believe. Setu 2, mate, in the same sort of boat to Moses Leo. What are your thoughts there? Because at 264k, you just sit there. He's been dropped for the run of games against the Titans, Cowboys and Seagulls and Rabbitohs, where you go, points were going to come, tries were surely going to come. 264k, a break even of just 5. Is he one that you'd be happy to pull the trigger on and get rid of because he's not playing, or do you sort of hold and hope that he gets a run soon?
Well, who are you going to sell him to? Is probably the biggest one. I'm in the same boat. I have him. All the cheapies are, besides Moses Leo, they're all in the 200s. Yeah. So unless you've got this absolute war chest to go up to someone, you just kind of wait it out. To be honest, like it sucks, but well, that's just my thinking at the moment. I might just wait. There's always someone that David Farley's on the wing, so there's. A couple of games in, we might be able to pick up him and just straight swap. So
like someone bobs up.
Yeah, there's always every
time.
Year. There's throughout the year, you think, oh, this is the cheapie I have to get, but later down the track, there's always someone gets injured. So I know that there's no value in really trading him.
Yeah, you'd need a war chest of $445,000 to play. And who has that at the sleeve? Like honestly, I'm with you though, mate. I just feel. If he does return, and he's one injury away or something could happen during the week as per last week, and he comes in and plays and he's outside Vale for a good run of games, a low break even. So put it this way, you sell Moses Leo, I think, before Setu 2 at
Definitely.
this stage. Yeah. Toby Couchman returns at prop for the Dragons. Oh, a big one, boys. Tom Chester returns from suspension. At centre, Zach Laybutt moves to the bench. So Todd Payton had been pretty full of praise for Tom Chester early this season, but when they beat the Storm in that massive upset on the weekend, it was a little bit of do they keep a winning side? But huge news for those who did hold on to Tom Chester with the low break.
That is some serious faith after beating Melbourne, so that's very handy.
Yes, massive news. In even bigger news, Spy Payne Haas named to return. Did you end up selling last week?
I did sell him. I ended up boosting him out to basically go a bit mad. Bolstered Val into my centres, and I think I got Paseka because I had no front rowers, so I was kind of forced. Pretty happy with what I did in terms of squad depth. But yeah, if he comes back firing this week, won't be heaps happy.
Frosty, very interesting one, because whether people got this right or wrong, we're not going to know for a couple of weeks. But firstly, he still has to play. He's been named. I suspect being named, he's going, let me at him. I'm ready to rip. He's tough as nails. Played through injuries for his whole career, basically, at different stages. You sold?
Yep, I boosted to Stefano.
That worked well. I got him as well, so.
Yeah, especially
days.
with the score of Stefano. But, you know, Payne Haas is who's named. He'll obviously do his best to play. You know, as a player itself who's had a fair few AC injuries, you can push them and play for sure. It does hinder you a little bit. And probably the biggest thing is that, you know, your one knock, bad knock, or it sometimes a really innocuous a way of being like, oh, damn, that actually quite hurts. And, you know, you get set back a little bit, especially in his position, tackle, obviously a lot of tackles and ball carries. So I don't know. I just took the risk, and that's, you know, sometimes you just have to do it. And so we go, she's 800K, you know, does he reduce his role like we all spoke about last week? And I just thought, you know, I'm just going to try and make a move there. But, you know, I'll try and get him back at some point, but it is what it is.
I actually grabbed Jackson forward, I remember now. So I got Valentine Holmes forward for Haas and Paseka. So, like, given last week's front row conundrum, pretty happy with it. But, yeah, close watch. I did have the thought that if forward was just going okay and Haas come back humming, I can just straight swap him back if necessary.
I did an AC joint injury back at school in the days. Doctor was like 6 to 8 weeks, don't come back sooner. I came back in 5, but Frosty, some of us are built differently, aren't we?
Yeah.
How long did it take you to get back from yours? Probably 10 weeks?
I reckon I'd...
Season.
Took the season off.
Last year, I reckon I had jabbed, or in the year before, I reckon 11, 12 games straight.
Did ya?
Yeah.
You played through it.
Yeah, and just you get a needle every game. But it does hinder you. I will say that.
So
everyone's different.
You just keep getting knocked, and therefore it just never really
it just
came
never
good.
really. And so you're just tackling with the other shoulder then. That's the easy fix. Just don't use that shoulder.
Yeah.
How much did it hinder your performance?
It does. It hinders you a little bit, but again, like everything's different. Once you're in a game situation scenario, it's more the training that sucks.
Yeah.
You're not needling any training. You're like,
No competitiveness either.
actually
Like, you're not trying to win as such.
Yeah.
Do I have to
once
tackle
you're out
him?
there, it does. But you know, I just took I'd say the risk on that by selling him. I don't want to talk people in and out of it, but as a player, I know it can hinder you in a position that you have to make a lot of tackles and.
All I'm hearing is Frosty says Haas is done.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing.
He's
He
I
could
said,
come
boys,
out this weekend,
Hope
2
you're right.
tries, 60 tackles, and show me right up.
Oh,
So who
or
knows?
he could also come out and play 30 minutes. Broncos get out to a big lead and he plays 30 minutes and has no attack, and it's like,
I'm happy enough with the sell for what it allowed me to do.
We're
but
not going to know.
We'll find
Who
out.
are they playing again?
Titans.
Yeah, he only needs to play 30 minutes. Get
He
him
won't
off.
be playing
Get
any minutes
him
if there's a
off.
lead. So, but
Get
how
him
many line breaks does he have in that time? Anyway, Gomat Shibasaki returns at centre. Grant Anderson hurt. Britton Nickra returns. Well, he doesn't. He was named in the reserves for the Sharkies. Billy Burns, Teague Wilton, they remain on the edges. Mitch Barnett out for 4 to 6 weeks with a broken thumb. Absolutely luckless at the moment. The New South Wales Origin forward. Spy hurt me as a non-Jackson Ford owner. Ford came out, still played his big minutes, to be fair, but only 60 points in the loss to the Tigers. I'm sitting there and cool. Every chance people are selling him when he peaks in price in a week or two. This is huge for Jackson Ford.
Look, best 2 teams in the comp, Tigers and Wales, so hard to take anything too much away from it. But, yes, I actually think, as someone who bought forward and watched him very closely, I don't think the minutes change much at all. Webster was saying that minutes would probably come off like the Fish or maybe Aaron Clark.
He wants him as a big minute
Wants him
forward.
out there. What I did notice, whether it was just game dependent, didn't run as much as previous week. So I bought him because he was having 18, 19 carries and just ticking over the points. He only had about 13.
But
so-
surely that's, again, like, in me brushing forward last week, I was thinking maybe minutes would reduce, even if only by 5, 10 per game. But when you have an Origin forward with a big motor like Mitch Barnett, they're going to take your runs.
Yeah, so that was my sort of concern. That's where it could come in very handy with Barnett. We'll find out. It's not a bad thing for Ford owners. I
Yeah.
just don't know if it's incredible either. Like, it might have already been that his role's pretty big.
Yeah. put it this way, he's keeping his big minute role for the short-term future. Trey Mooney returns for the Newcastle Knights from suspension against his old club. For owners that did hold, I'm expecting a big performance from Mooney in a club that he struggled for game time a lot. I think he's in for a big one, especially after that suspension. Big Papa returns for the Raiders as well. Joash Papali'i in at fullback for the Parramatta Eels with Isaiah Iongi out injured for an extended period. Boys, topic for today's show, halfbacks. Absolutely going bonkers at the moment, and fair to say, they're outdoing the fullbacks, the high-scoring positions, the blokes with the big ceilings, and I'll touch on even last week's as an example. Nathan Cleary, 117, Nicho Hines, 100, Jerome Hughes, 105, Adam Doueihi, 112, across the ditch. Dead set, didn't have a hammy a week ago, and he's come out and done that. 84 for Tanner Boyd.
That was insane.
I know. 84 for Tanner Boyd as well, so his run continues. On top of that, the two blokes that we were hoping to get and, you know, have this easy little pathway up to the other gun halfback alongside Nathan Cleary, who I assume is a must for all, they've sort of hit the skids as well a little bit. Ethan Sanders, 335k, scored 37 last week. His price rise has been stunted. There was Daniel Atkinson, scored 19 points last week. He's 311k. My first question for you, Spy, and I think I know the answer, but not so much do we start to consider a halfback in the flex position, and is that viable? Because I think for the most part, as is the name of the position, you stay flexible with who you put in there. But I've always been pretty high on going 3 fullbacks. That's what I've got at the moment. But the way halfbacks are going, should we be looking at 3 halfbacks rather than 3 fullbacks?
Definitely can. I can't wait to show you who could come into my flex later, side note. But, yeah, halfbacks are killing it. Just looking at Doueihi now, just quickly. He didn't have a goal kick last week. They put 30-odd on him. He's got 112. That's probably another 18, 130.
Yeah.
He's killing it. But I think maybe just that, without thinking about it too much, there's more 6 agains, maybe less penalties. Maybe it feels like edge and middles are just scoring a little bit more, and maybe fullbacks aren't having to do as much tip-on work out the back. But whatever it is, halfbacks are flying. So
Well, I think, as you said, like, speed of the game, these more 6 agains, points flowing, and they're the ones pulling the strings. As you said, like, the fullbacks are often the cherry on top and the finishing touch, and the halfbacks, they're getting the early ones. Frosty, what about yourself, mate? Are you running 3 fullbacks at the moment?
Yep, 3 fullbacks. Probably still going to stay that way.
Yeah.
I reckon if you had the funds to afford it, it'd be a massive advantage and pod move to be running two genuine halfbacks there. I just don't have the funds. You know, I'd love to do it, but end of the day, we've got to find some funds for that. And like you said, there's 4 people. There's Jaden Campbell too. Before he got injured, I was looking to start him. And I ended up going Sammy Walker. So, you know, he's come up back-to-back 97s. But I just don't know you can trust the Titans too much. It's tough watching, but again, he just gets points.
Seriously.
And obviously with the goal kicking, that's a bonus. I think anyone who can goal kick, adds that 10 to 15 on him. I've watched Adam Doueihi. I've owned him in draft, so I've been watching him pretty closely. I've been very happy with my draft pick there.
Yes.
But yeah, if you've got the funds, go for it. But who out of those 4 or 5? Can't tell you.
Well, I'm about to ask you in a couple of minutes, gun to head, if you had to go someone with Cleary this week, who would it be? So have it, just stew on that one for a little bit. Let's talk about Ethan Sanders and Daniel Atkinson, because as I said, Atkinson has a break even of 35, Sanders 29. That cash generation for the time being has been stunted big time. Spy, do you look to cut ties with one of them players in the next week or two and double up on gun halfbacks, which is going to have to be a goal for a lot of us out there? Or do we sit there and hope? They both have decent enough matchups this week. The Atkinson and the Dragons have the Cowboys at home. The Raiders have the Knights away. So, I mean, who knows what the Knights are going to throw up, but obviously playing some good football. You're a Sanders owner. What are you thinking?
Yeah, look, I'm thinking I'd love to... I'm not really confident in playing Sanders as much, but I do also believe he's got another 80 or 90 in him, so that could spark the cash growth again. It's not so much that I don't want to do it right now, it's that if you upgrade that position, your second halfback, then what you're doing with those funds is allowing other holes in your starting 13 to remain there. So I'm much more likely to fill those starting 13 issues, whether it be centre, whether it be a flex position, like maybe you're not happy with a Kini or something, whatever it may be. I'd rather get my starting 13 sorted than my bench, my bench 4, than probably upgrade a second halfback and then run with some guys who are weaker in the centres. Like, I'd rather get my
Here's
centres
the
done
question there.
first.
Like, you mentioned Kini, who like, we'll get to him a little bit later, but on the chopping block for a lot out there, I'd imagine, after a fairly underwhelming start. Like in my trade situation this week, I could go like a Kini to Turbo and then just keep like a Sanders.
Yep.
So would I prefer, say, Turbo and Sanders, or Atkinson in my case, Turbo and Atkinson, or I keep Kini and then get like a Nicho Hines?
Yeah, like the second option's better.
Yes.
That's just sounds stupid. It's just pure math.
Yes.
Two good players are better than one.
And Kini's underwhelmed. He's
Yeah.
still a 60-point
And
average.
Kini's still one thing goes his way for an 80, 90
Yeah.
every week. And surely the Titans can only get better. I haven't seen a whole lot of them because I keep falling asleep.
So what's your short-term plan with Sanders? Is it give him a week or two and hope for something?
Pretty much, yep.
Frosty, what about
that's
you?
exactly it.
Yep, exact same. We saw that round 1, he scored 94. So they're only 1 or 2 try assists or try themselves or a couple goals, especially with Sanders' goal kicks. And you're in that minimum 60 odd, and that will just keep it ticking over.
Yep.
So for my situation with Daniel Atkinson, I think at this stage I'm the same. As I said, I do have that Kini scenario. I reckon I'll be boosting this week, so I've got a lot of options to go with. We'll get to those later. Look, I played Atkinson last week, and I just thought against the Titans, a beautiful evening. I'm like, he's looked okay this year. Nothing. Anywho.
Yeah, it made sense.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it made sense at the time. Again, speaking of a tough week for injuries, but Kyle Flanagan, a very scary injury there as well to him. So thoughts with him and the family in that one. But hopefully, again, back up and okay, and we see him sooner rather than later. With Lycan King Tongia coming into the side, I think spy Daniel Atkinson, in theory, he has to become quite a dominant half alongside a rookie. A game against the Cowboys, which it's pretty close to a must-win for the Dragons after winning the start to the year. I am of the belief that he will score well in this one. I'm putting some faith in him. I will not be playing him unless I'm forced to.
Say?
The Cowboys.
Yep.
In
Points in it.
Cogger, I think. You would think so, but
Well,
watching them,
Sunday.
you're like, do they have points in them is the question.
No, Kintongia might actually help him because his running game, I'm a big fan of that kid.
I think they can work well together.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
Have the combination
Flano
works.
wears the 6, but he does a lot of the organising in this side. So I'm hopeful that Atkinson can do something in spur. And, yeah, let's give another week or two and see if he can get some price rises. All right, boys. Nathan Cleary's a must. We don't need to dilly-dally around him. Just before we go on to their replacement options, Tanner Boyd, 84 in a heavy loss to the Tigers. 750K. His break-even is now... He went up 52K last week, break-even of 43. Let's say, against the Sharkies this week, a tough game in Cronulla, he scores, 70-odd. The break-even skyrockets. For Tanner Boyd owners, spy... Are you pulling the pin after sort of in the next week or two, obviously pending scores? Let's say the average does regress to even 70, 65, or you're riding the wave for a while?
What I need to do right here, and I'm already halfway there. Who do the Warriors have coming up? Because I think you keep him, but let me check this draw. Sharks, Storm, and Titans, Dolphins, Eels. No, I'm keeping him. I think.
Do you have him?
I don't. Oh, sorry. If I own,
Yeah.
I'm keeping him. Wish I did.
Yeah.
Again, he went well last week in a tough game for him. Just the style of footy the Wires are playing, it just suits him so perfectly. He makes a heap of tackles as well. He's goal kicking still. You'd hope he keeps that. I think he's a keep until such time as he is not. And look, if he scores 20 this week, we might go, ooh, owners might jump to any of the other blokes we're about to talk about. But for now, I think he's going pretty bloody well.
Similar?
Yeah, I think if you have him, you're absolutely laughing, especially at the price. With the matches coming up, a few tough games, and after that, like you said, the Titans, Dolphins, Para, you just keep him until he doesn't do anything for you.
Yep. Big get watch this week. A really difficult game against the Sharks, away from home.
It's a great week to check in.
If he can punch out another 70 to 80 this week, and look, let's say the Warriors don't pile on the points, you sit there and you go, okay,
Well, he's
like,
going
real deal.
head to head with the bloke you might trade him to in the other number 7. So it's a perfect game just to sit back and see how they go.
And I mean, you talk about the points and their Warriors setup. Their back rollers are just flying at the moment. So they're having a field day.
He'll probably set up Jackson Ford's 2 tries as well this week. So
dear.
it all adds up.
All right, boys, your second halfback spot, let's say, for whatever reason, in 1 week time, Atkinson Sanders become a sell. You've got $600K in the bank. You can move to anyone you want.
Supercoach just give us $500K to spend on a backup halfback. Next week, who are you getting?
Saints just feeling generous. He's given us $500K to spend. I'll start with you, Spy. Who are you getting?
There is nothing in this at all. I could nearly go, you boys pick it for me. I don't care. Like, that's how close it is. I've probably got Hines. He's got the pedigree. He keeps doing it. Does appear to be running a bit more as well, which is leading to offloads, which when Nicho's offloading, it's when I love him at his most. I've actually got Tanner Boyd at 2, just on current form.
Really?
Yeah. Let's see, again, we'll decide after this weekend where he lands. He is crushing it. And I'll tell you why I'm a little bit off the others. Doueihi would be my number 2, but boy, that boy can get hurt. Like, I can nearly guarantee you bring him in, he gets hurt. I hope he doesn't, but it worries me.
I reckon I can't do Doueihi. He's obviously fine, don't get me wrong.
Yep.
But had that hamstring scare not have happened last week or the week before, I'd be like, you know what? He started the season well. He's fit, he's fine, he's all good. Terrifying without him.
We've already had the scare. And don't get me wrong, I think he might actually be the number 1 option on current form and price, to be honest.
Yeah.
He just worries me, which is obviously got him at 3. I'm not saying I hate him. That's why.
Nicho Hines, I will add. I know they're not the be-all and end-all, but the Sharks do have a bye in round 7. They go Warriors, Roosters into a bye. Not ideal, but again, not the end of the world.
At 4, I've got Jerome Hughes. I think he's phenomenal. Again, I could easily have him number 1. He does have a pretty low base in games where he doesn't dominate. Not very often because it's Jerome Hughes, but that is factored in. Jaden Campbell's at 5. Again, there's nothing in this. I could have Campbell over Hines easily. Maybe a little injury scare factor there with Campbell. He got through well for me last year, but he started the season with an injury. There's nothing between those 5, in my opinion. And my boy Sammy Walker, I think he will come right into that convo, but right now that's not. I think we're waiting on him.
I think I'll own Sammy Walker again this season, but boy, it feels a long time away.
There's going to be a time. And the Chooks do it every year where they start just dominating and the game opens up and it's just Sammy time.
And he'll be worth $550K or something.
Yeah. So, but in saying that, if I've used all my funds and I really want to get to a halfback and I can only get Sammy, maybe I will bring him in and play him on matchups. I don't know. Like,
Put
there's
it
an
this
option
way,
there to do it.
the thing about Sammy is like the Roosters obviously, they've had their bye now. What's he at now? So he's dropped to $552K, break even of 108, averaging 44. Sharkies after the bye this week, and then the draw does soften up a fair bit.
I quite like the draw.
I mean, look, to your point, you're buying a lot of people for Sam Walker. Frosty and I have both already traded him this year. But if you've got $100,000 to trade Sanders or Atkinson to him, you're like, okay,
easy swap.
we can do
And
this.
Also, if you haven't owned him, it's so much easier to do.
It is.
Frosty, who's your pick, mate? And I just want to add around Nicho Hines, that just because I think Nicho Hines is my number 1 pick. Round 7 bye. They also have a round 12 bye.
Ooh,
not
2-5.
ideal.
No, it's not.
Yeah, with the buys, it does hurt a bit. I think Nicho would be the top for me, but it's close for all of them. As I said before, I do like a goal kicking half. You know, if something does go your way, it doesn't go your way in the game, you know, you get an extra 10 to 12 points in that. So that does bump. So probably Nicho, and then it's a real split. Doueihi and probably Tanner Boyd are probably the second and third. Quite tight, to be honest.
I don't see you giving him cheek. Oh.
Because he'll flog me. Look at the size of him.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think, again, they're both goal kickers, but in form too, but they're just unproven. So when I say they're second and third, like it's a real, if you had them, you're absolutely laughing. I would, you know, at the price, I would trade in Adam Doueihi if I had the funds, and I wanted to do that. But, you know, paying that much for Tanner Boyd, yes, he's killing it, but it's such an anomaly from previous stats. And then Jerome Hughes is, you know, it's Jerome Hughes, and then Jaden Campbell kind of falls after that at that 5th spot, just purely because of the Titans, how they're looking. But we said before, and he accumulates points quite easily. He's a fun guy to own. you refresh your app watching the game and he'll just jump up 10, 15 points every run. And how do you do that? He's got an offload, a tackle bust. He comes alive. So they're probably my rankings, but, they're all very, very close.
Just on Nicho, that round 12 bye is the first major bye before Origin, so we'll only have to field 13, which helps. It means he's playing later through the Origin period. And Jaden Campbell, has he been running as much as last year? Just stats wise, it looks like, because that's where he does accumulate. He's had a lot.
I've watched the Titans closer than I care to admit the last 2 weeks, and he's taken the line on.
Yeah,
he looks outstanding.
Yeah, he's taken all the Kini's runs. That's what he's doing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as long as
he's doing stuff with it as well.
That's always my main. That's always my main question. If Jaden's running, he nearly jumps to number 1, 2 as well. So,
yeah.
I cannot put another Titans player in my team. I can't. It's been a horrible watch. Aside from Arama Howe, of course. For myself, look, you summed it up well, boys. I think you're right. If you can look past Adam Doueihi's injury history and the hamstring concerns, at price and form and draw and all that, I think it's him. Does scare me, though. Nicho Hines with the 2 buys, that worries me. I also think the Warriors, after a bad performance, they're going to get up for this game. Look, this could change by tomorrow, but I think I'll look to maybe go like an Atkinson to Hines after that Sharks bye. But also, do I just pull the trigger now on Adam Doueihi? It's a tough one.
I wouldn't knock anyone doing it. That's for sure.
Yeah. I would not go near Tanner Boyd. No knock on him. I just can't pay that much for him. You mentioned this year being an anomaly, mate. Happy days if you got on him, but the prices are gone. He's peaked. I can't do it. So, yeah, I think an Adam Doueihi, Nicho Hines one for me. Jerome Hughes, the Melbourne Storm.
It becomes so relevant all of this next week because Jerome plays Penrith, and then it all just opens up to maybe make a decision.
But even then, he goes Warriors in Melbourne, to be fair, but into the Raiders like it's not good.
Honestly,
yeah, but
said
he's also
last
a big
year.
game player too.
Yeah,
he loves it.
The Storm rise for big games. He scored 100 odd against the Broncos.
Yeah.
1 try assist.
The only team that literally concerns me is Penrith.
Yeah.
Maybe look the Dogs on their day as well, but I look at Penrith and go, oh no. Anyone else, I'm like, I don't really care. There's points in it against most sides, in my opinion. I will put the Dogs just in that bracket slightly.
Yeah, they're still defending, not great into the Knights, but they're still defending well.
Yeah.
They're just scoring 2.3 tries per game, which is the worst in the NRL by a margin.
Yeah.
Whew.
Adam O'Brien.
Yeah. Big watching coming weeks in the halfback. And she spiked the drive-by, but it's hard to...
I'm sure he's not running the whole attack or running
anyone
at all,
that missed that little drive-by, Spy said Adam O'Brien. It's hard not to
optics
look at.
aren't good.
Yeah, optics are not good. Yeah. So, big watch on the halfback position. What I will say is for Supercoach, fullback wide open, halfback wide open, awesome for the game.
I had a look, literally, we haven't got to trades yet, but I was looking at that, I'm like, where do I go? There's so many different ways I could tackle this, and it's awesome. It's so awesome. I love that, because previous years you go, well, I'll do this and this to get to Cleary and Nicho and Teddy and Turbo, and it's all the same. And now it's like, actually, there's all these wildcard options, and people are sticking their heads out for putting their hand up for selection.
Even the other thing, like the cheapy bonanza early on in the season, it's still good, don't get me wrong, but a lot of the good cheapies have hit the skids very quickly.
It is good. It just makes it a little bit harder.
Yeah. All right. The weak gutted Dogs. 1,233 points last week. We are, of course, talking about Paddy from Mortgage Choice SCW, his side. They've skyrocketed into 133,000th overall after picking the team from round 2. I'll be honest, Paddy. I don't know if you're listening, but you've got a long way to go, mate, and I'm not confident. However, you do your best. It is all happening, guys, in the world economic scene. The RBA putting rates up by 0.25%, making it the highest in 8 months. That means it's going to cost you more and more each month to pay off your loan. Not what you want to hear. A lot of Aussies are getting complacent with trying to weather the storm. That is the rate rise. One chat to Paddy and the team at Mortgage Choice SCW, and you can find out just how much you can save to put towards pies and beers and all the good stuff at the footy. The stuff you really want to be spending your pocket money on. Best of all, it is free of charge because you listen to this podcast. Simply mention SC Playbook when you get in touch and you get a free consult worth $129. And to do so, hit them up on Instagram at mortgagechoice_SCW or give them a buzz on 02 9521 1611. Spy talk, stuff you may have missed. Now, it's not the deepest of dives today. There were just a couple of players that you wanted to flag.
Yeah, we had a few things in the works, but it's a bit of a long show today. So what I've bit of feedback is, and I often do it, that someone will say, oh, you didn't talk about player X. I'm like, yeah, it didn't sort of come up in the most traded. I'm like, you're right, though. There's certain guys each week that don't necessarily fall in the most traded in or out. They do have relevance. So,
This is where having a podcast network across SC Play, we have about 5 or 6 shows a week, comes in good to cover every player.
Yep.
But it's amazing how much you can only fit into an hour and 10 show.
Discord's good for that as well, because the week goes on, we'll start popping options in.
Yeah.
But I'm going to start doing a bit more during Spy Talk.
Good
So
for you,
without
Spy.
going too deep, Connolly Lemuelu, I love that kid. Always have. I've owned him in the past. We'll get to the other back row at the Finns shortly, but he is an option for those who just like to, is it zig when you zag, whatever it is, I don't know. It's cool.
Zag when they zig.
Zag.
Either way.
Zigzag, zag, zig.
Works.
Doing the opposite to what the others are doing
Yeah.
is basically the option. Now, you could own both Dolphins back rowers because Lemuelu is fantastic. His work rate's good. They're both playing 80 minutes. The issue is our 2RF back row region is so stacked, it's hard to get him in at the moment. So it's like in other years, I'd really look to a Lemuelu type. He's coming off 76, 60, 85, 65. He's got attack in him. I do think the Finns are only going to get better as well. I think they've started a little bit slower. Just keep an eye on him because his price probably won't get out of hand.
What has gone on with the work rate of Dolphins back rows? He's basing 54 per game.
It's crazy, eh?
That was like this time last
crazy.
year, buy. Yeah.
Yeah, so Lemuelu, keep an eye out. The back row combination at the Dogs. Jacob Preston, we don't need to shout out. We know he's always in the mix. But his partner, Kickow, very busy this year. So maybe it's not now, but maybe, and I think I owned him over the bye period last year, Kickow is probably just getting a little bit more footy. I think they're running off the back of him a little bit more, which leads to offloads, attacking stats, tackle busts. Just a sneaky option. Probably not for now, but heading into that origin period, let's see how he's looking. Which order am I going to go here? Tigers winger, Luke Leilii, 335k. Probably has locked down that position, especially with injuries, at least in the short to mid-term.
What do they got? So Taylor May will be back in the next 2 or 3 weeks or so.
So he's getting closer. So
Skelton. They've had the debutant on the weekend, so he'll drop
who
out.
went well, he'll probably drop out. But I mean, unless he starts killing it. So look, maybe some risk. But if you're really short centres and you need someone, he's the one on the up, averaging 63 or 4 at the moment.
Yep.
Huge work rate, tackle buster. Tigers are going all right. So maybe he's got some tries in him. Just an option to look at if you want to get off of Moses Leo and keep the money going up. Whether I'll do it or not, I'm not sure, but just one
He's
to
on.
have a look at.
He's not. Is he on Doueihi's edge or not?
No, he's on the left edge. So that was Jerome and Taylor May originally. Then Macassini went left. So look, that hasn't worked out ideally for him. But look, Tigers are playing pretty expansive footy. He just might be someone just to ride to, if he can hold his spot.
I actually
500K.
think Jerome out is good for him. Just because he just steps back in field and plays short. And
He does.
That.
First
Not
game or
noted
two-
for left winger scoring outside him.
Yeah, I thought his first 2 games he looked all right, but yeah, that was a very small sample size. The other 2, Joash Papali'i, you mentioned coming in at fullback for your Eels. He's available at 5'8", in the tough 5'8" position at about 300k. He's another year older. He's gone okay in the past without being incredible. I think he averaged sort of around that 50 mark last year when playing fullback in the number 1 jersey. Any fullback outside Mitch Moses that can run like this kid,
Yeah.
you know you're a chance. Eels have a day game. He's like Tigers into Titans. Bulldogs is tough, but Manly, it's a pretty good month of footy. 300k. If you're worried about Cody Walker, and I think that's a discussion in trades, you could make 100k and just ride Joash Papali'i for 4 or 5 weeks, and then
How
go from there.
long's he
Well,
out
they
for?
reckon syndesmosis could be like 6 to 8. So it's not just a 2-weeker.
Don't be worried about Cody Walker. Cody's all good. Let's stop stressing about Cody Walker after 2 bad scores. Jonah Pezzett, though, is going to peak in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
You could
and
go,
he's
you go Pezzett to him.
could be lovely. So he's just keep an eye on him. Keep an eye on him. And finally, Max Bryden's boy, Alex
Oh,
Twelve.
Here we go.
I think I can convince you in about 1 minute.
No, I've already convinced myself. I
Yeah,
just
look.
can't do it.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
I've seen the numbers.
I didn't realize how low his minutes were previously.
Yeah.
Averaging mid 40 minutes, generally speaking, across the season, and still averaging okay. He's now up to basically averaging 65 minutes a game. Straight from Maxi Bryden, Benji Marshall in the presser the other week said he mixed up his rotations a little bit and got stuck when Jerome went off because he'd already used his 4th middle forward. He's like, I probably need to fix this up a little bit. And the next week, Alex Twelve played 70 minutes because he's obviously got a massive motor. But my big one is he's just a ball carrier now. He didn't used to have that in him. He was a real plotter. Now he's just busting tackles a little bit and he's offloading at will, dare I say.
How do you just develop this shit? Like, it's not like he's 20 years old. He's become a
Alex Twell, it's hard bloody work, I bet.
The man has like the longest non-try scoring streak in rugby league history. What was it, about 170 games?
There's a lot.
What it felt like. But he's been fantastic this year. Like, even to your point of offload, Spy, like, he had 22 offloads in the entirety of last season. I know it's small sample size, but 6 in 3 games this year. Dual front row to RF, 548k, break even of 12, 64 in base. Very hard to knock.
I just reckon he could be the perfect guy to bring into your side. He could be a keeper at that price. You bring him in and do it. So, look, I'll talk about how I might make that happen in a bit. But that's my little targets this week that may or may not get a mention. You've obviously done me a favour and just kept a couple out of your trade chat here. But Spy Talk lives.
Love your work, Spy, as always. Alrighty, most traded in players this week. I owe another apology, actually, this week. It's two in one show. I don't love it, but I'll do it anyway. Arama Howe. Most traded in player, 116 points, 421k, a negative 42 break even. Did have him on the don't buy list. It was for the similar logic of like a Setu 2 of last game of the week, job security poor, what if he gets dropped, you're screwed. I was just like, there are too many risks. I'll be honest, I didn't know he was that good. He looked like a
Those
world
two tries, wow.
Yeah.
And shout out to Bretto again, and my mate who had Warbrick for 4. He's like, do I play Arama Howe? I'm like, oh, you probably shouldn't, mate. He could get dropped.
Yeah.
He could have bloody won the week.
So apologies, guys, if you didn't buy Arama Howe on my fantastic advice.
I apologise as well because it just seemed very risky and he goes bang, bang with a double.
Jeez,
I wouldn't have minded if he passed to Kini, though. He would have won my head-to-head.
I know.
You know who can blame for that?
Gutho.
Yeah, Gutho.
Went bloody early,
he
which
doing?
I love. No, I like that. Cause
At first watch, I was quiet. There were some words about why he didn't pass, and then
Yeah.
when we showed the replay, I was like, "Oh, fair enough." And
Yep.
obviously, great try. But I was watching with a few of my mates. And I needed Kini to win the head-to-head. I lost my head-to-head about 8 points or so. So
no wonder he had choice words.
it was.
I'm all for the fullback or a winger feigning in that position and trying to deceive him. Gutho just went like 2 seconds too early, and it was like,
But I think he
he's done it before.
I think
I've
he
watched
might have
Gutho
thought
before.
old mate might have covered him coming across, which I get. I'm
Then
like,
he was unbelievable.
yeah,
He's a
anyway.
day one for the skinny superstars as well.
Yeah?
Martin, so holding strong for the boys.
Yeah,
Very happy with
in
them.
Gutho's defence, he probably also didn't realise how quick Arama Howe was. He's like, someone will track him down. I'll just cover Kini.
yeah. Frosty, if you were a non-owner, would you buy this week?
Yep. Minus 42 break even. It's literally now or never. I know you've gone up 100 odd K. Well, more than that, sorry, but 100K last week.
Yeah.
You can't, minus 42, you can't really go wrong.
Yeah.
And he's shown that now, so he's got the faith, I'm sure, in the coach. 2 tries, won him the game. He's got that attacking ability, so yeah.
That job security, and again, I'd watched him quite closely as an owner early in the season. He did always look good in attack. I didn't know he was that good. Defensively, there were some issues, but off the back of, as you said, he won in that game. He's not getting dropped anytime soon, put it that way. So, yeah, I think he is a buy. And also, you look at that Broncos matchup this week, that's tough. He's running at Ezra Mann, possibly the best spot in the NRL to be running
The bloke
at the
who we're going
moment.
to talk about soon nearly had 4 on the weekend on this channel.
Boys, Reece Walsh, 790k. You can pick him up this week at about a $45,000 discount on his starting price, a break-even of 92. A good run of games. Broncos. Titans into the Cowboys. Find a way to get him, Spy?
I think so. Look, there's blokes like Turbo, and if you're going Turbo instead of Walsh, sure, if you want to have that crack. But, I've started with Walsh. I'll live and die by him. I just think he's going to keep getting better. He's the kind of bloke I might have mentioned the other week, but it's almost like he needs to get his legs under him to start the season. He often is he cramped up 2 weeks ago, and we saw last year, I feel like as the season goes on, providing he stays healthy, he's going to get better and better. The Broncos, thought I noticed last week, sides were getting up really quick on the outer edges and just trying to cut the time of Walsh getting the ball, so they either hit short, cut back inside, or run it in the halves, which is frustrating, but Broncos are going to have some games where they actually get some roll on. They haven't had much, and that's where Rachel will strike, I think. But despite all that, he's still, what's he averaging?
74.
74, which included 30 odd versus Penrith. He's gone 90, 99, 80 or something. So, yeah, I love him. I feel like he's underwhelmed me a little bit on what I know he can do, but he's still scoring well. I'm just waiting for that. He's going to be my breakout, hopefully, into the upper echelons of the leaderboard this year. What's he at? 50%.
I think he's a must, Reece Walsh. Simi Sasangi, dual Tour FCT dub, 528k. Touched on him at the start of the show, averaging 76 points for the season. It looks to me, Frosty, that despite the Raiders, 1 win, 3 losses, Matty Timoko, in all reports, not setting the world alight in New South Wales Cup anyway, and believe he's being shopped around. So with what Sasangi's done, not perfect defensively, but he's also had some really good moments. It looks like that position is his, at least for the short-term future. Said 528k, break even for 24, 76 average, 39 in base. But with that, he has 26 tackle busts this year, 6 offloads. I think the only negative I can find on Sasangi, and it's a pretty reasonable one to be fair, is that it is the win-loss record of the Raiders this year. And if they get done again this week by the Knights, or say lose the week after as well, does Ricky sit there and go, all right, we need to make a change here. We bring Matty Timoko back in, but on paper, mate, and eye test, he looks pretty good by to me.
Yep. I'll get to him in trades later, but I'd love to get him in, but I can't get him. I just fall short. But especially the game on the weekend, all the attack, he made Kailiro look silly.
He really did.
A few times he missed tackles twice in the same play.
It was insane.
But I think you mentioned about a change. Like, he's been the informed player. So as a coach, you're not really going to move or change your informed player if you're 1-4. All the attack comes off through him. Tackle bust. There's an offload that was twice down where Savage ran through, all off him. So
You're saying other blokes are looking at the chop before he is, because
definitely. I think he's set there, and the duel is so handy for from a Supercoach point of view, and that 530 odd K. I think if you got a free spot for him there, and all aboard.
Yeah,
I'll play a little devil's advocate. Someone who's wanted to start with him. Firstly, he's unbelievable. And even in the Sharks final last year where they struggled, he just kept them alive. He came off the bench. He's such a footballer. In the short term, he runs into Bradman Best this week, one of the best defensive centres in the comp. That doesn't mean he can't score well, but that's a pretty tough matchup. Then has Latrell oppose him the week after. That is 2 of the hardest blokes you could choose to run out back-to-back. Then he plays Melbourne. As far as 3 weeks go, without looking at the sides they're playing, that's a pretty tough one-on-one matchup. I think he'll probably score well because he's so class and he's so quality, but maybe there's a world where we can get him at a similar price in 3 weeks. Or maybe at 50k more at 600k and he doesn't get out of hand, whereas if he's had 3 really good matchups, you go, geez, I better get him now, or could be never. The other thing is, if Timoko does come back, as you said, if they lose 4 in a row, maybe something shakes up. I don't think it will, but could happen. It would ruin Noah Martin and Sasangi potentially, which means 2 of your Raiders are ice because they share a role. Again, this is speculating, but
they become instant sellers.
That's the devil's advocate on Simi Sasangi, and maybe it's why I've gone, and we'll get to it, is, okay, maybe we do wait a couple of weeks. Yes, I want him, but in 3 weeks we'll know if he's definitely held the spot. He's got through those tough matchups, and we go from there. That's just a thought in the other direction.
No, it's very valid. And the break-even for 24, if he scores 90 this week, he's projected to go about 50 to 55k. And
I'll pay it for surety of his job.
Yeah, and I think what, for reassurance to owners out there, I think what's working in his favour is of him staying at centre is if they move him to the bench, there's not really a spot for him to play. They've already moved Zach Hosking, who is a fantastic edge-back rower, into the middle.
Yep.
They've got Big Papa, they've got forward, so it's I think I'd nearly be more concerned if they lost obviously a Noah Martin, but even a Zach Hosking, because then it's all right, they're starting to lose a bit of depth in the forwards, but as it stands, they've got the depth there. So
yeah, they might say, we've got some injuries, come play 50 in the middle, help us out. Yeah, as it stands.
Yeah. All right, boys. Kuli Kefu, Fini Fuiaki at number 5. Holy hell, you look at sample sizes and go, a bloke, we've been through his stats already, but hasn't been overly Supercoach relevant in recent years. 4 games in a row now where he's set the world alight. 621k. He's risen 169k so far, averaging 89 points with 63 in base. 4 tackle busts per game, 99 points on the weekend. In that game, Frosty, you're an owner, so you saw this as closely as anyone. Went through for a try, untouched, and line break, call back for a forward pass. Then, late in the game, went through again. Went through again. Reece Walsh, an unbelievable tackle, somehow stopped him. It could, very nearly, probably should have been 150 points. I mean, you own Frosty. You jumped on last week.
Yep.
You'd seen enough last week, and what we saw on the weekend was even better.
Yeah, it was a big smile on my face. As you mentioned, we were watching the game was on a Super Rugby match, and halftime break, I turned the league on quickly, and a few of the boys were around just to check how the boys are going, and I saw the Nicho forward pass.
Yeah.
It was it sucked a bit because he didn't have to throw it forward because he still would have scored. But anyway, it was unbelievable to see how well he done. So I don't really seen that play and check the highlights after and saw the Reece Walsh tackle, and I was filthy at that too.
Yeah.
But unbelievable. I was so happy with him as doing that by more just around that decision. But I think even at 620K, that's another player I'd just be jumping on. He hasn't shown this in previous years, but he's shown enough in previous years. He just hasn't been consistent with it. I think that's probably the only thing that swung me over last week. So it was just, let's have a dig at this, and he's shown it again for the 4 weeks in a row.
I can just picture you in the corner of the shed post game, dusted up by a point, and you just start crying in the corner, and your coach is just like, "This is what this team means to Nick Frost," and you're just sitting there watching the try disallowed of Fini Fuiaki.
Banging the table.
Spy, I've seen enough. To be honest, I'd seen just about enough last week. I was going to potentially boost for him. I thought, no, I can wait a week. I've seen enough this week. I think he's a must-have. I think he's... Look, even if the base drops to 50 with his attacking upside, I think he's probably a season keeper. It's currently 63 per game. The only thing is, they've got a bye next week, the Dolphins. He's got a break-even of 29. He's another one where I'm going, I really want him this week because he could hit 150 points against Manly. But a bit like Sasangi, I could also... I'm happy to forego 50 grand for the fact that I won't be able to play him next week.
I'm pretty happy with my back row depth. I think I'd buy him for 750K rather than 620. Last week, honestly, I was like, who is this bloke? He just kept doing those power efforts and get up and he'd do it again. Whereas I assume in previous seasons he probably would have one, pull back a bit, but he's obviously just fitter. He's grown up a bit and he's becoming a world-class back rower, certainly in attack. He's making a heap of tackles as well. His base stats alone, as you said, are insane. You could nearly buy him on that. But knowing his try-scoring ability, running off a certain bloke called Izzy Katoa, he's coming straight in.
Boys, most traded out, Keanu Kini, 523K, averaging 59 points per game, a break-even of 47. The funny thing is he's been so underwhelming, he's still surpassed his starting value. He's risen in price to about 28K. I assume we all own.
Yep.
Frosty, hold or pull the trigger?
I'm looking at moving him on this week. I considered I was going to do it last week until I saw that monsoonal Manly game. I watched him very closely again on the weekend. It's just weird at the Titans at the moment. I feel like, you've got Campbell came back in. It's his second game. Ilias is there too. And then you get Brimo in the centres. They don't really seem to have a good fourth, fifth tackle option. And the one time they did, he threw a forward pass.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't, I don't know, they kind of score tries off, a mistake or two or a bit of an unstructure. They don't really, they're never going to be the most structured team, but, it's not like he's getting the ball out the back of a double blocker play and he's got decisions and he can run.
Yeah.
So I was looking at that and I was like, he's not going to really take on. And when you've got a lot of chefs in the kitchen, even, like I said, Brimo's in the centres too, who can come in, he's a half and wants to touch the ball. So I'm going to move him on this week. But, if in your case, like you said, if you can keep him and upgrade a halfback, that's a potential for sure. I'm just pretty keen to grab a certain fullback.
Yeah, you've summed it up pretty articulately there, mate. Better than I ever could. But I thought the exact same watching him. The effort area is there. The output is there. The attacking opportunities are not, because the Titans just simply do not look very good, even though they got the win on the weekend. And opportunities where you see, even like Manly, who haven't been great this year, sweeping and creating overlaps, and Turbo's just throwing the last pass and things like that, such easy points. And they're the games that they could be 120, 130 in the blink of an eye. Keanu Kini, for his 59-point average, has had to work his backside off. Spy, that is why I think you could hold him for another week if, again, like to Frosty's point, if you got money to put into halfback or somewhere and keep Kini for a week, that's fine. because he could score 80 to 90 this week. However, just watching him, I think we need a fullback, unfortunately to put it, in a better attacking team.
Yeah, I agree. I don't disagree with what we said last week in that I still think he's a pretty good value proposition. If he was valuable in any other position in the whole competition, he'd be like 520k, averaging 60, no attack coming. You go, well, he's going fine. But when he can be your flex and he can go to anyone, I think that's where we've run into the issue, and buyers have emerged this week. Last week it wasn't quite as clear. This week it's like there are real options to jump on. I think I'll be getting rid of him. Cannot wait to tell you how I'm doing it. There is a 2-part plan to my process, but you might fall off your chair.
Fire straight into that, Spy. Nice little segue into our trades and skippers. Hit us with your best.
Trade 1, Isaiah Yeo to Fini Fuiaki. There's not really anyone to sell in my back row, so I'm kind of...
Do you have Ryan Couchman still?
I do, but 330k. Like, I'm not... That's a lot of work to get him up there.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Yo's been great. I'm like, this is such a good hold, but Penrith are going to belt a lot of teams, and they showed their willingness to give him a rest on the weekend. They literally just said, we don't need you. Sit down, Skip. I don't know if you skip these days, but like, have a rest, mate. He played like 45 minutes, was not required. Fini Fuiaki straight in, 80-minute edge on the up, just excited to own him. And whilst I think Yo could be a weapon, just Penrith are going too good. He's like the opposite. You need Penrith going poorly. For
I agree. I agree with you, Spies, and I say Yo owner. I could change my mind, but I'm looking to hold 46 break even, averaging 72. Unfortunately, because of how good Penrith are, he's getting early showers and will continue to do so. I'm just hoping that 2 of the tougher games of the competition, Storm into Doggies, that it's even just slightly tighter, off a shorter minute game, that he gets bigger minutes in these games and can score well. But like, I have him penciled in as like a round 7. It's so funny, isn't it? Like a round 7 sell when the draw softens up for them. Yeah, so I'm like, he's going to get early
just unique.
showers.
He's unique. And look, ideally I wouldn't sell him before Penrith Melbourne. Melbourne and the Doggies. Yeah. But someone's got to go.
Yeah, no, very fair.
That's just how it is. Which leaves me with one option out here. Kini sitting in the flex position, or was it fullback? But I've subbed him in. Alex Twal is going to be my flex this week.
Oh my God.
Look, realistically, it could be Fini Fuiaki, but for the fun factor, we'll say it's Alex Twal because they're very interchangeable. I just think Twal's going to be I'm hoping he's going to keep on those big minutes and offloading, which could just make him the most beautiful own for the rest of the season. He's obviously not going to stay in my flex, guys. Like, I'm not buying him as my flex. What that will allow in a week or two is Twal can sub in for any front row or 2RF in my whole side when I'm ready to upgrade one of them to a halfback, a fullback, whatever it may be. He's going to hold the forward at flex for a couple of weeks. And the beauty of Twal's dual position is he literally can come in for any forward.
Gun to head, how many minutes does Alex Twal average over, let's say, the next 6 weeks?
I reckon he averages 66 minutes a game, which should see him average 75, 80.
So he played 61 to 62 minutes the first 2 weeks. Why have you gone over that? 70 minutes last week.
Well, he's probably averaging 66 in fairness.
Fair. He's averaging
but
64.
Just on Benji's quote, like direct quote was, I fluffed my bench up. And what it alluded to was I need to keep that 4th man free in case a back gets injured.
Sheesh.
And Twal's like, well, I'll just leave Twal there a bit longer. So
I mean,
but
to
also,
call it what it is, he's doing the Terrell May role from last year. Playing huge minutes and just getting through work.
And that's the thing. Terrell's gone right down. They've swapped.
Yeah.
But it's the offload factor. Like, it's the minutes and the offload factor with a few tackle busts he never used to have.
We're asking as a prospective owner.
I reckon
watching the Tigers closely, is he looking to like regularly free the arm, or have there been with his 6 offloads the opportunities just presented and he's popped it?
Particularly last week, I watched closely. He earned them and looked to do it.
Okay.
He just looks elusive. He looks elusive. Wow. Just that little bit of footwork at the line is power. Like, he's not going straight through the line, but they're not hitting him square, which means he's just been able to go, thank you. I love it. And it's kind of like a little bit on the Jackson Ford thing last weekend. It's coming off a big score. So if he comes out and scores 60 and 60 and I go, that's a bit underwhelming, he'll have made me 50k and I'll pick the best bloke for the rest of the season. I don't like doing that, but it's a good like safety cushion.
I know what you mean. Like the dual position. He had 71 in base last week, 63 in base the week before. Geez, it's a good case. Frosty, what are you thinking?
I'm bringing in Tommy Trbojevic.
I love that.
Think, I was going to do it last week on the Thursday night, and then saw the monsoon rain.
Yep.
And I still nearly did it. And then I said, no, don't be silly. Let's save this. Give it a week. You know, with my luck, I'll trade him and Kini will score 120. Obviously, it didn't happen, but I just think he's looking. He looks to take the line on more. He's in good shape. He's in good shape. He's running at top flight. So when I say that, you know, if there's a line break or something, you know, he wants to be there. He's striding out. Whereas in previous years, as an owner last year, twice up and down with him. You know, he's there. So I'm really happy to go Kini to Turbo. And with the money that I've got, I'm about 4K short of Ryan Couchman to Simi Sasangi. So that stings. I would do that if I had the money. But, you know, with my team set up, I've got Fini Fuiaki already. I've got these players. I think that's just my one trade for the week.
Sweet.
I boosted 2 weeks in a row.
Yep.
Potentially shouldn't have used one last week, but I did. So I think with all the cheapies that aren't, you said firing, they're at 200K. So there's no value in moving them on.
That's the big one. Yep.
Even with Moses Leo, I only read it before. It said he's got delayed concussion. So he might not actually be fully dropped. He said,
okay.
It said delayed concussion. That's only just reading the NRL article of what they put out. So
maybe he holds his spot.
So maybe he holds, and I'm a non-owner, so, you know, that could be, 50 or 20, 30K odd move from Seto2 to him in a good attacking team for me if someone doesn't pop up. So I think it's just the one trade this week. Tommy Turbo in, and I'm all aboard. And especially when a team the coach gets sacked.
Love that.
There's always a weird stat. The coach gets sacked the week after. The teams are all, and I think, who are they playing again? The
Dolphins.
Yeah.
Their run's good.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Tommy as well.
All
He's striding out and looking good. He's not only supporting, he's sitting there waiting for them.
Yeah.
He's getting up there that quick. He was literally 20 metres in front going, just tell me when you're ready and I'll just score.
Yeah.
It's good. I really want him as well. The only way I can make it happen is by flipping Jackson forward immediately and getting 12 into the front row. So I'm like, I'd rather just give it a week. And if Turbo's crushing it and forwards average, maybe I'll look at it next week. But it is tempting, mate. Jeez.
For myself, this could very much change in the next 24 hours, but Moses Leo out, Simi Sasangi in, Keanu Kini out, Tom Trebojevic in as well. We already touched on them boys already.
Oh, I'm spooked. You're both getting him.
Yeah, I absolutely want Fini Fuiaki. I'm just thinking with so many good buyers available this week, I'm going to hold off till after the buy and prioritise some other guys. But not ruling out Fini Fuiaki. And I'm also a good chance to boost this week as well. I just need to work out how to manipulate it. 12 does have my interest. I just don't want to give Max Bryden the satisfaction of doing it. So
what's worse, 12 killing your season or giving Maxi satisfaction? Because both aren't good.
Max satisfaction by a mile.
So.
Matty, the water boy. I don't know if you've been dialed in over there or not, mate. I haven't thrown you for a while. Any trade ideas yet?
Yeah, I'm not actually just saying this. I made my trades at the start of the podcast. I'm doing the exact same too. The exact same too. Yeah, Kini. Because I need points. I need them now. I want Sasangi. I got Sasangi one of my drafts, and he's just been amazing. I'm boosting as well. I'm trying to remember what the other one was, but I'm freeing up cash somewhere else. I can't remember exactly what it was. But yeah, I had to make it happen, so I'm getting those two in.
Targeting the points.
Let's go.
Get aggressive, Matty.
Skippers boys. Spy, VCC.
VC, I think Herbie just picks himself Thursday night because I want Walshy. Is he Friday? No, he might be Saturday night. That's right.
Walsh is Saturday night.
He's Saturday. I think very hard to go past Walshy captain. I do prefer to go VC on Walsh, just knowing what he's capable of. He's got that odd, that odd sort of 40 game in him, or he's 180 or whatever it may be. But the way the cards might land this week is free look at, Fini Fuiaki's an option on that Luke Brooks edge as well. Maybe I'll do Fini Fuiaki actually.
Brooks isn't that bad.
Oh no, just the edge in general.
Yeah.
Cool's a good defender as well, but they're having a bit of success through there at the moment.
It's good.
Maybe it's a Benny Turbo problem.
Cole was an outstanding defender. Yeah. I'm glad. I like the Herbie VC play because he'll be left edge going at the right edge of Garrick, which not the best defensive centre. VC Herbie for me, C Reece Walsh for sure.
I'm going to go Fini Fuiaki. Not letting you steer me wrong again.
You do, you Spy.
As much as I love Herbie and that, I think I'll put the VC on Turbo.
Definitely.
I think that it'd be not too many wood with Herbie there, and even obviously the ownership with Turbo.
Yeah.
So it's just very enticing, your brand new shiny toy into your team. And so I think that's what I'll do. And yeah, Walsh is probably the standout for the rest of the skippers for the week for my team. This is what I had. Walsh, like you said, does hurt a bit sometimes. It's up and down, especially after not being a part of that last year's run. And then, my memories of him this year is it's okay.
Yeah.
It's just one big try assist off that 110.
Yeah.
So, that's what I'm going for.
Oh, it's an interesting VC one because you're right. Buying Tommy Turbo, you think, bring him in, first game of the week, perfect VC. I can just, I think the Dolphins will be up for it. Manly could cause an upset, as you said, the Foles factor round one, the bounce back. But what if Manly don't get up for it? They're currently winless. We know the Dolphins can attack. If they turn it on and put 50 on them, that's where I just am terrified about Herbie.
Yep, but the Dolphins can also not defend.
I know. Yeah.
I don't really. I'm not fussed with what the end score is. I think there'll be the only little thing is obviously it's the classic Thursday night game, which doesn't really pop off, but it could do. But I think they're the two out and out VCs.
Yeah.
Herbie's been doing 80 odd in his sleep. So he's due a try. Tommy scored a few, but he's I don't know.
Here's another question for you. What would your VC have to score to not loop Reece Walsh against the Gold Coast Titans? Spy?
VC would have to be about sort of that 105, 110 mark I'll be taking.
Yeah, I reckon I've changed over the years, especially with the flexi, and I reckon it's around that flat 100. I get too greedy sometimes. I've been burnt in the past of, this guy's got a great matchup. But if you're guaranteeing the 100 points if he's your captain, and you see AE comes in, which is going to be a flex, which drops out. So like we spoke about a few years ago, it drops down straight away. So I reckon these days, anything near 100, I'm definitely considering it. Like I'm probably going to do it at 100, and then if they score 120, so be it. But they've got to get to 120.
Yeah.
Like it's a big ask.
I agree, except for Reece Walsh against the Gold Coast Titans. I just think he could go bonkers. So I'm thinking I would take 110 plus. Boys, that'll do it for the SC Playbook podcast for round 5. Spite, thank you as always, mate.
Thanks, boys. One last question. Would you play Chester or Macassini?
I have the
Fourth
same
centre.
question, and I have not thought that far ahead, having with team list just dropping.
Frosty.
Which side
drop
is
some
Chester?
knowledge. He'd be right edge.
I'll give you an answer, Spy.
Yep.
Macassini.
You reckon?
Oh, mate, Easter Monday. They're going to towel him off, I reckon.
Matty
Okay.
very rarely comes in from the nosebleed.
Yeah,
He's
that's
just
a
come
big
out.
goal. It's a massive goal.
Well, I don't have Chester and I have Macassini. So.
Chester's at Sully. Pretty good defender.
Very good defender.
All right. Matty, I'm doing it. Macassini, Easter.
This is big. This is Macassini's big breakout game.
I thought I had visions of it today as well. I'm not going to lie. So
I've not played Chester for the 2 big games, and I played him for that 30 odd. So
Me too.
and I think everyone has. And then Macassini's, I've had him for that 35 or so. So I don't know. I'm making that decision this week. It's a bit of a coin toss.
all right.
I can't make a
That's a
decision right
huge Thursday decision. We
Yeah, here it is. That's way too- that's later in the
too
week.
much going on. Hey, Frosty, appreciate you taking time out of the busy schedule, mate. Obviously on a bye this week. Appreciate you coming in. You're heading back to the capital, God's country tonight. Been great having you. We'll hopefully have you again during the season if time permits, but good luck nonetheless.
now. All right, thank you. It's good to chat some Supercoach.
Up the Brumbies.
Thanks, lads. Thank you.
Up the Brums. Right, guys, thanks for tuning in. Good luck this week.